Nick,
We're
cut that. We're not ready yet.
We're good. Let's go.
All right. Welcome to The Word. We are excited to have Eileen Duff with us from the Jan Eileen team at Keller Williams Evolution in Beverly.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah.
Me too.
President of the North Shore Realtors Association.
I am indeed.
And governor's counselor for the something district.
For the 5th District of Massachusetts.
5th district. So you do a lot. You're a lot of things.
What district is that?
It's everything. We have 5 state Senate districts, Seth, and it's everything from Cape Ann all the way north to the New Hampshire border, west to Pepperell.
Wow.
Where they have meat auctions on
I don't know
Friday
where
nights.
Pepperell is.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
Is it Neil Bilrisia?
It's a beautiful place. But I'm also on the board of directors of Mass Association of Realtors, and I am the chair of the diversity.
Equity and inclusion?
Yes.
Wow.
What about
DEI.
belonging?
I want you to belong.
Is belonging a part of that DEI?
It should be.
Yeah, it should be DEIB.
I'm going to say that next meeting.
Because we want people, it's not enough to be included. You have to feel like you belong.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like
Pepperell's not that far away.
It's not.
Pepperell,
it's pretty too, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Doesn't it have like big old houses?
Beautiful big old houses.
I was in Groton 2 weeks ago.
Oh, Groton's gorgeous.
Is it though?
Yeah, I think it is. I think
there are parts that are beautiful.
I was in
the not beautiful part.
The not
nice
beautiful part. You can
Groton.
get a lot of house for your money up there.
Harvard too, I think, is beautiful, but maybe in like different parts.
Maybe.
So wait, which boards are you on again? I'm sorry.
Everything.
All the boards?
Yeah, all the boards.
There was a second one in there that I was Googling Pepperell, so I stopped paying attention.
That's okay.
He's a live fact checker.
I am.
I
like
know.
it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's the internet.
So the governor's council, we each represent 1/8 of the state, so it's bigger than a congressional district, and we are the only elected body in the state with absolute veto power over the governor. So I tell people it's the most important thing you've never heard of.
Wow.
So
can you veto rent control?
No. We can veto judges, though.
Oh.
who would
pass.
veto rent control?
Yeah.
All right.
So indirectly, you could veto.
Well, I can't.
We're sitting.
Very circuitous route.
I really can't say that. But
Can you tell me the etymology of circuitous?
It means that it's a very
Can you spell it for me?
circuitous. I think it's CIRCUTOUS.
he's fact checking.
Yes. It means like a
There's
diagonal path.
Of a route or journey.
See?
Longer than the most direct way.
Yeah.
You know when you spelt it, I spelt it with an S.
And did I spell it wrong?
CIRCUITOUS.
Oh, good. I was right.
He was right.
Circuitous.
He's very smart.
Every now and then I pull one off.
Did you hear that?
I did. I like that. So the computer now goes through this? Oh.
It tells us how to pronounce it.
But I didn't know the computer was also in...
Listen, we're all
It's
learning.
AI now.
Yeah.
Right?
It didn't work the day we tried to record the trust and estates things, but today we got
Should I ask
pronunciations.
GPT to give us 5 other alternatives for circuitous?
No, not yet. We'll get to that. So Eileen,
Yes, Brendan.
thank you for joining us. It is a pleasure to have you here. As you know, I love talking to you.
I love
and
talking to you.
Can't get enough of talking to you.
Can't get enough stuff.
Yeah. Oh, is that your new slogan?
That should be a T-shirt.
That could go a lot of different
It
directions.
could be. You
Could be sideways, yeah.
did you try one of the LaCroix?
These LaCroix are fantastic, and I am a big bubble water drinker.
Oh.
And this
Same.
particular limoncello with a little vanilla essence.
Yeah.
Splendid.
We end up with these when Stop and Shop screws up my regular lemon LaCroix because we didn't get to the substitution fast enough. And then they sit in my house for several weeks until I bring them to the office.
Well,
Unless LaCroix were to send us some.
Yeah.
And
LaCroix
then-
should send you some
Yeah.
because this is very refreshing.
It is.
And it's also something that realtors could be serving at open houses.
Naturally
and
essence.
Yes.
Things like
Good
that.
idea.
It's non-alcoholic, yet has some nice flavor.
Yet-
Realtors,
yet-
please make sure you're bringing LaCroix to all of your broker opens and regular opens.
Yeah.
It's good with vodka. It's good with tequila.
This probably would be really
I
good
bet
mixed
you
with
would.
something.
If you're LaCroix, are you happy that we're saying you're a good mixer?
I bet. I
I-
mean, I
I
would
would
imagine
hope
you want to
so.
be sold wherever you are
right.
sold.
Well, look at I'm not very tall, so I don't have a lot of personal real estate to spread the
We
calories
noticed. We
over.
noticed. Yeah.
So I've started drinking things like vodka
Tall
and
water.
soda, and this has a little flavor in
Yeah.
it, so it would be the perfect mixer for a vodka. Or if you're not drinking and you don't want to drink, it's
It's just good on its own.
What does that have to do with height?
perfect.
You were just
It has
self-deprecating.
yes, it has to do with I'm really short and I'm getting fatter.
So you felt like you need to. Oh, that was the.
I
that
have
was
to
the
watch my
connection.
caloric
Got it,
intake.
got it.
Seth.
Oh, you know what? You know what helps one watch their caloric intake?
Stop, man.
Our
No.
friends at Nutra
If you're
Meal
looking for
Service
a
in
great meal
Peabody.
prep
Nutra's
service.
in Peabody, aren't they?
They are. Aren't you from Peabody?
I grew up in Peabody, and I've heard about these Nutra kids.
There we go.
Nutra boys.
yeah.
There we go.
Nutra boys.
Couple
Are you
MDs.
listening? Because
Seth and I both get Nutra delivered to our
do.
houses.
You do?
We do.
do.
All the meals are 500 calories or less.
are you serious?
And so good. And they're like almost.
I don't know if I can continue to do this in good conscience.
Yeah,
wait.
I'm just being serious at this
now
point.
you are.
They are so good.
I did
And they're
have one
like
for lunch.
less expensive than going to Whole Foods.
So it's a meal delivery service where do you have to cook it or is it all?
No,
It's all cooked.
we
That's-
actually had this great debate
Seth and
last
I, yeah.
week about how you should reheat it. I am of the opinion you should simply just use the microwave.
Well, this is an interesting.
And I don't have a microwave.
Oh, good for you.
You know why?
Low tech.
Yeah, low tech.
Low tech. Well, today at the Governor's Council, we had a baby shower for one of the staffers, one of the attorneys who's
Did you guys use a microwave?
having a baby. No, but we wanted to get meals delivered to her.
Nutra.
And the only
that's a
and
good
we
idea.
didn't know about Nutra. We
This
were
is-
going to go
this is
with
the
the
right way to
Hello
do it.
Fresh, but
Yeah.
then she would have
Have
to
to
cook
cook
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And so we opted for something completely different. So I'm very serious. That
Yeah.
would have been if it was something that came ready, because if you're, if you have kids and stuff, but also, again, sorry, I'm a realtor, no show realtors. That's a great closing gift
It is a good closing gift.
for people.
So we started doing it.
Some ready delivered meals.
Yeah, we started doing it because my paralegal said you go home at like 8:00 at night
Yeah.
and you order like takeout from a Thai restaurant. You should be getting a meal service. So we started looking at it, and my friend Cliffy told me about this thing and sent me a coupon code, and we started getting it, and we loved it, and it's been phenomenal.
Well,
it
you
is,
should-
it is really good. We just
Yeah.
had it. We just had a kid 3 weeks ago. Number 2.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you using Nutra?
We are.
To-
I literally ordered it off Brendan's recommendation.
I wish I'd known that seriously.
No,
because
no promo code because
No.
I'm just a schlep. He said
Well,
he gave me one. I lost it. It was
Nutra,
like 6
you owe
months
this
ago.
man a couple of promo codes.
And so I, from the hospital, ordered a whole week's worth of meals for that exact reason. I didn't want to come home and cook anything. And in 3 minutes or less, delicious meals right on your plate.
Now, I have to ask because did these guys go to Peabody High? Do you know?
We don't know.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
No.
But
Did
their
you?
business is in Peabody.
It's
you-
Peabody's. That's
Yeah.
that's all
Did
right.
you go to PBD High?
I did.
PVMHS.
The Veterans
PVMHS.
Memorial?
Yes, I was
Yeah.
president of my class. I won't tell you what year. It's a long time ago.
1990. Oh, yeah. I was going to say 94.
But we did have the best class reunion we've ever had this year at
Oh.
Champions Pub in the basement.
How were the steak tips?
They were
Oh, we
great.
didn't have it at Champions. I'm sorry. We had it at the
That's
AOA.
where you wanted to
No,
go.
we had it catered by Champions.
That's better.
Oh,
and
That's
it was
better.
unbelievable, but we had it in
Because
the
I don't think I want to go to Champions basement.
I don't think there's
No,
enough
it was-
room in
it-
Champions.
It was at the downstairs, which essentially is the basement of the AOH.
on Main Street.
Yes, and it was
I don't even know what the AOH is.
Ancient Order of Hibernians.
it was great. It
You
was-
call yourself from Lynn and
We
you
ha-
don't know what an AOH
You're from
is?
Lynn and you don't know that?
He's from East
Is,
Lynn.
is that on
East
Maple
Lynn.
Street?
It's on Boston Street. It's
I was
like
ju-
Mariana Street,
Yeah,
Boston
it was just
Street.
there. And that's a nice hall.
No,
over
not
there.
Mariana Street. Marion Street, like in between Marion Street and Boston Street.
It's hard to park at the one in Lynn, though.
Over behind Market Basket.
Yes, right near Market Basket.
Okay, so
Very limited parking.
Yeah.
But
Why-
so you have to go on the side streets.
why would I ever go there?
Because they
St.
have-
Patrick's Day dinner,
and
political fundraisers,
cheap drinks.
cheap drinks.
Really cheap drinks.
I live in Winthrop.
It's like it's like the. Do you have an Italian club?
No.
Cottage Park Yacht Club.
Yeah, we're yacht club people.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
we're
same
yacht.
thing.
We're in
Yeah.
Winthrop, so we're yacht club.
Right. When did Winthrop get
It's-
so bougie?
I
It's
know.
when we have the same hall with worse food, but we call it a yacht club because it's on water.
I
okay.
actually have been to that yacht club.
It's a great spot.
It
no,
is a good spot.
No air conditioning. Really unfortunate.
Eh.
Anywho,
Sounds like
we
time
were
for
on
an assessment.
We were on. Yeah, I agree. We were on your introduction.
We are, but we're just learning about Eileen. There's so much to learn about.
So
I'm
Eileen,
small, but there's a
we're
lot.
gonna refrain
lot
from
packed in here.
from giving LaCroix and Nutra any further press.
I object.
Well, we can revisit it later. maybe,
Okay, thank you.
in a live campaign read.
All right.
Because we do have a coupon code to potentially share with everybody.
Oh, we do?
Do you?
I mean,
I'll try it.
I have one that works.
Oh, like yours.
I don't
you
know.
like the one from your
I don't know
account.
if I should read it.
Oh, well, we should alternate, whose coupon code.
Oh, I
gets-
just found it on the internet.
Oh, you have one in your account that gives you like
I don't know how to
a
do
$25 gift discount or something.
Oh,
We'll work through that.
All right, let's do that then.
For our valued listeners, we'll get back to you on that. All 6 of you.
So how do you guys know each other?
That's a good question, Eileen.
I met Brendan when he was working, I think, on a political campaign before you were even in law school. Were you in college?
I had graduated from college, but
Yep.
hadn't gone to law school yet.
Right. I knew him way back when he was a pup.
Way back when. We had a mutual friend
Yep.
that neither one of us are really still all
Friends
that friends with.
That's how it works.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of other mutual friends that we are still very close friends with. And I'm a realtor, and he became a real estate attorney, and it's a match made in heaven.
It is.
Do you guys do a lot of transactions together?
Not
No.
yet. We're working on
We're
it.
trying
I'm
to.
trying real hard.
We're trying
so
to get some. I'm trying to get some transactions right now. To be frank,
it's dry.
it's
tough.
it's weird.
Tough out there for the buyers.
I have a great buyer. Great because she knows exactly what she wants, and she's saved her money. She's done everything right. We looked at this condo and made, I ran all the comps, did the RPR, which is a tool we can use as realtors.
Yeah.
And made a really generous offer. And they're like, no, they came back with like $1,000 lower than what it was listed for, which it just
Wasn't worth
And where was this?
it's in Salem. It's not worth it, and it's still sitting on the market. So, we'll just sit and wait and see. Now,
They'll come back.
Jan had a listing this weekend also in Salem, which is an estate, and
Billion offers.
gone in a heartbeat. But
I-
it was it was nice. It was beautiful. It was
Was it a
well-presented.
ranch?
No, it's a condo.
Oh.
Wow.
There was a good, nice ranch in Salem on the market last weekend.
Ranches fly.
Yeah.
Fly right now. If it's too bad developers can't make more money selling ranches. They got to make the McMansions, to make it worth it. But
It's true.
people want ranches and bungalows. They want some first floor living, and it's very, very hard to find. In fact, my house is a ranch, and when we bought it,
Any thoughts of selling?
no,
Where is it located?
it's in
Do you know a good
Gloucester.
realtor?
I do.
Yeah.
I know several.
You covered
But
it.
it's funny because we bought it because we didn't want to carry our dogs up and down the stairs, and
Oh. What kind of dog?
now it's us
Oh,
that
the
don't want to
dogs
go
are
up and down
gone.
the stairs. We have one dog left. We had West Highland Terriers,
Okay.
who are hilarious, and then we had my son Fitz, who I loved. He was my dog.
I remember Fitz.
Fitz was the best dog
Yeah.
in the world. Half Wheaton, half Poodle.
Yeah.
Gorgeous boy.
Oh.
And then now we have Joey Pellegrini. Pellegrini is my wife's last name. And
Yeah.
he is a devil dog. He is we think he's a Maltipoo. He was a
Oh.
rescue. And
Did you put him in your purse?
I practically could
Yeah.
because he's down to 7 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
We carry him around like a baby.
Maybe he needs some Nutra.
Yeah.
He needs whatever
needs doggy
he
Nutra.
needs whatever he can get because he's 16 and he's pretty deaf.
Oh.
He has selective hearing though.
Yeah.
But he's a cutie. But you could put him in your pocket.
So you're in Gloucester.
I am.
All right. Gloucester is such an interesting market to me. I think Gloucester has so many fundamentals behind it, and it's ripe for, just blowing up. Like, it seems like it's Newburyport 15 years ago or
It's
Salem 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, the downtown is so cute, and like
Yeah.
it could be so much more.
it could be, and it's starting to be. I mean, it's growing. I agree with you. I think it's one of the places you can still get a lot of value for your money. In West Gloucester, which a lot of people weren't real keen on, but it's on the other side of the bridge, so that's 10 or 15 minutes closer to
Right.
to Boston.
Yeah. Is that by Wingershik Beach? Is that West Gloucester?
Yes, that's
Okay.
West Gloucester. So it's very desirable, but you tend to get, it's more woodsy
Sure.
in places. You can get a lot of land, but the gorgeous, gorgeous homes out there.
And the Hearth House, is that over there? What's that restaurant on 133?
I don't know. On 133, the Hearth House?
Was like
Oh,
right
the
as-
Hart House?
Hart House.
Hart House,
yeah.
that's in Ipswich.
It is?
Yeah. That's in
It's
Ipswich.
basically West Gloucester.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind
How
of.
like right over the line?
But Gloucester, speaking of restaurants, Barbara Lynch is
Of course you're into Barbara Lynch.
Well, Barbara Lynch is
I don't know.
very
who that is.
talented.
You don't know who Barbara Lynch is?
No.
Seth is a chef too, by the way.
so-
like this is shocking. Menton, Number 9 Park, B&G Oyster, Butcher Shop. Any of these ring a bell?
I mean, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
James Beard Award winner.
Yeah.
She is taking over the rudder on Rocky Neck.
I know.
And we are all anxiously awaiting the opening. Because there's a lot of restaurants in Gloucester and there's some good food, but that's a whole other level of like, that's
It's a
great.
different level.
That's great
It's a
food.
different level.
That's
Is
great
Mile
food.
Marker 1 any good?
Mile Marker is actually really good, and they've just redone all of the rooms in
really?
in the hotel there, and they say it's really nice. That's a great place to go have lunch or brunch, and if you have a boat, you can,
One of us at this table does have a boat, and I've been
you're going
trying
to come
to
on the
convince
boat,
us.
and we can dock right there. You can dock right
at
at the
Cape Ann
restaurant.
Marina.
Yeah, it's really sweet. It's
But what about Talise? We could take the boat
I love
to Talise.
you can take the boat to Talise. They're actually clients of ours.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're in Costa Rica for the winter.
I know.
I don't know what that is either.
This is the restaurant I've been telling you about where they change the
Talise-
menu every day, and it's all farm to table, and they have a marina out
Unbelievable.
front.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not
So it's
cheap.
in the Squam?
It's in yeah,
right
see,
in
you know.
Annisquam, and the food is gorgeous. I have food.
Must be. Is it near Cape Ann Marina?
No, it's
No.
up. It's way up the river by the
If
Annisquam Yacht Club.
Yeah,
Got
if
it.
you go
At the other end.
if
Yeah.
you walked across the Annisquam footbridge, you could walk there. You could walk there from my house actually, because I live on the other side.
Oh, you live in that part of Gloucester?
I live-
Look at you, high rent district.
Well, no, I'm not I'm. The city
In
will
a
tell
ranch,
you I live in
nonetheless.
Annisquam, but I don't live in the village. I live across the street off Washington Street up a hill.
Oh, you live up there.
We live up
I
on
sold the house
Okay.
on Washington Street.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that part
Story,
of
right?
Gloucester.
Oh, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very quiet, dead end. I only have 8 neighbors. Very, very nice.
Wow.
Ooh.
Deer in the yard, all
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
So West Gloucester, though, still affordable, you think? Like,
West Gloucester's affordable, and there's stuff, in the main part of the island that's really affordable too, to be frank. Especially if you're willing, if you have vision and you're willing to put some work in. I mean, I have some friends that just bought, and it cost them, it was like $692, I think, all in. But
This is oddly specific.
well, I know we're just looking at the comps, but it was it's a 2-family with 2 3-bedroom units on a
Multifamily's still really cheap up there.
on a big piece of land.
And
is that where I'm going for multi?
and limited to Airbnb restrictions.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's a really, really great place to
fact.
invest. But, if you're willing to go get a grandma house, and some of these things and put some
Spiff
work
it up.
into it, yeah,
Bingo.
you can really get something. Especially if you want to live in it. I mean,
Sure.
it's one thing if you're going to flip, but if you're going to live in it, it's a great
How
great
long does
place.
it take to get to Boston?
40.
45
45.
to an hour. It depends on the traffic.
And what about that thing that goes on the tracks?
The train.
The train.
The choo-choo
the
train.
Yeah, yeah.
I call it the choo-choo train.
Does that work?
It works, but I personally think your best
too
bet
long.
is to drive 20 minutes down the line to Salem or Beverly,
Yeah.
park there, and then jump on the train. into
Oh,
Boston.
interesting. Why is that?
Lack of frequency? Is
Yeah,
what it is?
because the trains run out of Boston like every 10 minutes.
Do you
in
know
and out
anybody in
all
the
time.
state that might be able to push for better transportation?
I do know a couple of people.
Can you put a word in for
I can-
transportation? Because our old governor
Hey,
hated
listen,
transportation.
That new guy from LIC might whip it into place.
The Long Island Railroad?
Well,
Yeah.
the lieutenant governor rides the train once a week now.
Oh, she's the best.
She really is. She's
Yeah.
riding the train. It's driving her security detail out of their minds.
I can imagine.
Because they've got to sort the whole thing out. But she's like,
She
no.
late? Is she late every day?
That I doubt. She probably, I don't know if she sleeps. She does so much work.
No, he meant because the train is
No,
late.
I know what
Oh,
you meant. It's
was a good one.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
it is a very good one.
I think that guy's going to fix it. I got to be honest with you.
I hope he fixes it.
Well,
I
can-
think they should blow the whole thing up and rebuild it myself.
It might
but-
be cheaper.
There's no way it's cheaper.
Oh, I mean,
What are you going to do in the meantime? Put people on
buses.
luxury buses for the
We're
rest of
we're
their
already
life?
doing that. I
True.
mean, the commuter rail, they do that. Like, there's no station in Lynn. You got to take the bus to Swampscott and get on in Swampscott and go backwards.
That makes no sense.
None.
You give them a little hover things and
Yeah.
they could fly.
Water transportation too. I'm a big
have some water-
proponent of
yeah.
the ferry. So
Yep.
if you could talk to your friends
Where
and
is
tell them we want the ferries,
Don't you have a ferry in Lynn again?
No, because our friend Governor Baker was
He took
opposed
it
to
away?
it. Oh, yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Now
Didn't-
that is really stupid.
Yeah, because he was pissed at Tom McGee. And Tom McGee loved the ferry.
Well, in the ferry,
I mean, I don't know that to be true. Disclaimer, I don't know any of that. Nick, you might want to cut that.
I don't know.
Back on Ferry Talk.
But the ferry from Salem is mad popular.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
like
can
the
have
Hingham.
and you can have a cocktail on it.
Well, it's so cheap. All you need is a boat and someone to drive
Yeah.
the boat. It doesn't
Yeah.
cost billions of
Yeah.
dollars to put the infrastructure in place.
No, it doesn't. That's a really great idea.
We need tons more ferries. Just
Well,
like,
we need one from Gloucester to Boston. That would be great.
Yeah, of course you do.
I would love that. I'd love one even from Gloucester to Salem.
Yeah.
Well, it just makes
know?
commuting easier.
Makes it a lot easier. It makes a lot of sense, frankly, because roads are crowded.
It's unbelievable.
And to your point, Seth, it's if the trains don't run on time, it's it's difficult.
Right. You don't want to take them. I don't want to
I
be
don't.
late.
I don't want to take them.
I hate being late.
I don't like the subways because they smell.
Oh,
They're a little smelly.
that's very elitist.
It is very elitist, but it's also very true because I love public transportation, but the public
It's the rats for me that really.
yeah, it's
I love the thought of public transportation.
Yeah.
It's just like the actuality of it is.
But if
no
you're in a
bueno.
place like DC, it's great.
yeah.
And it's not even and it's old there now. It's like this system's like 40 years old, but it's still
It's so over.
mad modern compared to what
It
we
is.
have. Even San Francisco looks modern compared to what we have.
And the things like the escalators into the subway in
Yeah.
DC,
Those
you
are
feel
crazy.
like you're going forever. It is
Yeah.
like it's got to be
They-
how far underground are
They're
they?
good for spy movies.
Yeah.
Like they just slide down the
Have you ever been on the subway in DC?
Oh,
Have
it's
you been
great.
to DC
I was there in 8th grade.
for your government trip?
Oh, you got to come back.
Yeah.
National Association of Realtors is having a big
Yeah, can we talk? Can we talk?
Yeah,
about
let's
that?
let's
Can we talk about
transition
it?
into
So,
the Realtors Association.
Yeah.
I'm pushing Seth, telling him he's
Yeah,
got
because NAR
I am a realtor.
we know that.
our meetings are in May. In May 9th, we have rented out what's the name of the ball team down there? The ballpark, and we've invited every senator and state rep, senator and congressman.
What ballpark?
Nats Park.
the Washington
Nationals.
Nationals.
Washington Nationals. I couldn't think of the name.
Got it.
Yeah, we're having a big block party in there.
That's cool.
So you can schmooze with other people and tell them why we need.
So hit
things.
us with the differences between different realtor boards or
Associations.
associations. yeah.
Associations.
Like what's the difference?
Like between North Shore and
Oh.
G-Bar? Or,
Yeah, let's say I'm an agent. I sell everywhere. Pitch me.
I would go to the board closer to where you live. Honestly, I mean, if you live in the North Shore and you're in G-Bar, it doesn't really make any sense because your networking is going to be with the realtors in your community, right?
Sure.
I mean, that makes sense. It doesn't mean you won't interact with realtors from another board and you won't get to know them. And if you get involved with Massachusetts Association of Realtors, one of the great things is you get to know realtors all over the state, which is also a great source of referrals. And the more involved you get, the more people are bound to give you some business from
Sure.
different places. So, yeah. But I'd go to the board where it makes sense for you, honestly. And different boards have different strengths. You know, I
Yeah.
can really only speak to my board and what we're doing, and we've got some new ideas.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Well,
Tell us what you're doing.
We're having a big.
I got a controversial topic to hit you with.
Oh,
he
I
didn't
can't
warn me
wait.
on this. We're having a
I didn't know.
legislative breakfast next Thursday,
The 13th of April.
13th of April at the Hawthorne Hotel.
We're going.
You're
Yeah,
going.
we'll be there.
Yeah, there'll be
Yeah.
a bunch of state reps and people like that. Dan Cahill, Rep Cahill would be speaking. Rep Tom Walsh. There's a whole, 3 or 4 of them, and then
Rep
Lieutenant.
Paracella.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
Rep Paracella, Jerry Paracella, love that man. And then, and he and Cahill are important because they also practice real estate law.
Right.
And so they have a really great knowledge of the industry and some of the challenges that we face as realtors. So Lieutenant Governor Driscoll will be the keynote speaker, which will be great because she's done a fabulous job when she was mayor of Salem. She understands housing issues. And we have a housing crisis.
A massive housing crisis.
we don't have enough inventory, and they don't make land anymore, right? So we've got
Currently not in production.
to build it someplace.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of NIMBYism. There's a lot of people that
don't
they
even
don't,
get me started. I'm like ready to break the pen.
Nobody wants anything in there.
Broken.
Yeah, the answer is not more restrictions. It is less restrictions.
No, we need to change zoning.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
So the property that I own, where I live in Gloucester, is actually a half an acre of land. And one of the reasons I liked the land, and it had a lot of granite, and I like that. But the other thing is that one time it was 2 lots. And then they changed the zoning and merged it into one lot.
That's the thing.
If you saw where I lived, in every single one of my neighbors, there's no reason.
And you'd have to take it through zoning to separate it.
And there's no reason.
And they wouldn't let you.
Yeah, there's no reason anybody on that street shouldn't be able to build another unit. There'd be zero impact. There's 8 houses on the street. I mean, the impact is negligible.
And that's the problem with the affordability, right? Like the answer is not affordability. I mean, part of the answer is yes, we need to provide more housing for moderate income folks, and maybe affordable housing trust. But the real problem
you need to build
is the zoning.
Yeah, zoning is a huge problem, and in not letting people, we have to let folks put accessory apartments in their homes if it should be done.
100%.
And some people are like, it can only be for a member of the family. That's great, except there are a lot of people that need a place to live.
And there's a lot of people that need help paying their mortgage.
Yeah, a lot of people need, especially seniors.
Yeah.
I mean, and when you get into a community like Gloucester where there's a lot of waterfront, so there's a lot of rich people that own that, and then there's
rich people.
There's a lot of working class people who've inherited those homes, or they were the little summer shack that they live in full time now.
That's very similar to Winthrop.
Yeah.
Very similar.
And so why shouldn't they be able to put an accessory apartment in and rent it out? And in Gloucester, it provides housing for the workers.
Yeah.
We need summer workers. We need people to work in the industries, and they need to live someplace.
Yeah. Well, and there's no place for some of those older folks in those bigger houses to go, right? There's no downsize market either, right? So if you're in a big waterfront house,
right,
there's nowhere to go and stay in the community that you've lived in your whole life.
It's a circular problem, right? It's like being on a gerbil wheel.
It's really the same issue, different version. Every week we talk about this. It's crazy. Like there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
There's different things they could do to obviously sell, but like you said, most people want to try and keep it in the family if they can. And then eventually, if they keep it in the family to a certain point, then that next generation maybe can't afford it.
Right.
Especially with real estate taxes where they're going.
Bingo.
And, it's just nuts. And then market values keep running up due to the supply and demand. Eventually, they're forced to sell, and then they're frustrated.
And if they could put in even just a one-bedroom unit, an ADU, and
Airbnb it.
Yeah. Airbnb it or live there.
Yeah, long term.
It would make a huge, huge difference in that.
It more than pays the tax bill for the year.
We need housing for that reason too. Is we need the tax revenue. We need tax revenue, and people are like, it's fascinating to me in Gloucester to read the public forums where people are like, there's no housing for the working people. Don't build housing here.
Right.
In the house, what they're trying to do with some of these programs right now is build housing close to public transportation.
Right.
The theory being that working class people use public transportation and they need things that they can actually buy.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make any sense to not let people do that. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think zoning is a huge thing, and we've got to just keep talking about it to educate people. Here's the other thing about this is when we talk about affordable or accessible housing or housing you can afford, whatever you want to call it, senior housing, veteran housing, this isn't us issue. It's not a them issue, because all of us are going to be seniors. Yeah. Many of us are veterans. All of us, well, most of us will have some type of disability, be it hearing, seeing, mobility, cognitive. As we age, we need to make sure that these facilities are being built. This type of housing is being built, single-level housing or, bungalows, things where people can actually age and live in. Because we don't, to your point,
aging in place is really a hot topic.
Yeah.
If you have a 2,400 square foot, 4-square colonial, great house. But
how many times do we go to these open houses, right? This giant house is an estate sale, and the entire first floor is modified.
Right.
Right. And I mean, I see them every weekend.
Yeah.
Now.
That was my mother's house, to be honest. My mother died a year and a half ago. And,
Was she on Gardner Park?
She was on Gardner Park.
That's what I
Gardner
thought.
Park, Gardner Street. And so what we did is, as her mobility declined, I told her, you can either get a chairlift in the house or we're going to
put a bathroom downstairs.
Put a bathroom downstairs. When we had a half bath, we were fortunate that we were able to put a full bath.
Yeah.
And when we did it, we designed, and it's funny because now it's like all the rage, like a wet room.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wet rooms.
Yeah.
We did a European style bathroom. So
Very popular.
everything is completely open.
Yeah.
With grab bars in it. It's gorgeous. And everyone that would come in would be like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. And it ended up being a selling feature in the house, which we didn't really intend.
Right.
But we were lucky that we were able to do that, so
Right.
she could stay in the house. But honestly, it was ridiculous having, at the end,
is.
there were a few of us living there. And during COVID, actually,
Yeah.
my nieces came and stayed there. But yeah, it's a waste of a resource just having.
And if you think about it, it's a whole other kind of systemic issue. Like maybe the right thing to do, and maybe it's not, is to if selling's an alternative, you sell the property and relocate mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. The problem, as someone who's had to do that with my wife's dad, father-in-law, you end up going into some sort of assisted living.
Right.
That is like uber expensive.
Oh, the prices are
and
crazy.
if he wasn't a veteran, there's no way we could have
Yeah.
swung that. You know what I mean? It's bonkers.
Yeah.
And so, it's just crazy, right? So because of that cost, because of the limitation of those facilities, because of the limitation of other ranch style homes that just don't exist, more boomers, seniors, whatever you want to call it, are forced to age in place,
Right.
which brings less inventory to the market.
Right.
Correct.
And then you think about myself.
Yeah.
I'd like to upsize
Yeah.
eventually here, but I'm sitting on a good 2.5% mortgage rate. I ain't selling
Right.
that thing.
Nope.
So
Unless you can find someone with an assumable.
Yeah,
which
which
that would
which
be
is,
nice.
I,
Yeah.
I don't know that you.
I came across one last week because it's a VA loan.
Oh.
Right. So VA loans are always assumable, but it has to obviously be approved. They have to be a veteran, yada, yada. But yeah, it's just few and far between. So the reality is more clients that I'm onboarding right now are just like, hey, talk to me about being a landlord, because I'm a landlord. I'm pretty public about it. So we talk about that. And the reality is while rates are a little bit higher, I have clients who are keeping their 2.5-3% interest rate on the condo that they bought, using the extra $500,000, $600,000, $800,000 to use towards the 6.5% rate.
Right.
They still save money because their interest rate was really low, or they refied, and they've been able to save up some cash to buy that house.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, there was a property. I heard about it. It wasn't involved in our firm, but 87 offers last week on a property.
That's
Wow.
great.
Where was that?
I heard that. I don't know. I heard it on a podcast this morning locally in the Boston area, and there was. I took out buyers all last weekend in the North Reading area. Even some of these homes that, quite frankly, I wouldn't personally pay $300,000 or $400,000 for are going $100,000 over asking. Dozens of offers. And
the market is still strong.
And the top,
Incredibly
the top
so.
3 offers, and all these stories I heard were just waived everything. No contingencies,
Yeah.
100 plus over asking on homes that
Yeah.
need to renovate the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's
It's
crazy.
there are still opportunities for
No
people.
doubt.
I mean, not every house is going to go over like that, but people are showing up at open houses. People are putting in bids.
Yeah.
People,
I think if you're in a good community and it's priced right, it's going to go
Gone.
immediately.
if it's priced right, it will go.
It's the people that aren't pricing things right
What's
that are
priced
sitting
wrong?
Well,
overpriced.
Yeah,
well,
but how much?
I always say, your house is worth what someone will pay for it.
That's correct.
And no one wants to hear that. But it's the absolute truth. I mean, the market will tell you what your house is worth. And if you want to price it for $1 million,
Yeah.
and I can't show you the comps,
Right.
and you don't have, once in a while you have someone who comes in with a wheelbarrow of nickels and they'll say, I'll give it to you and I'll waive every contingency in the world. But not as much as you used to. I mean, in higher end markets you might, but in Gloucester you don't, unless it's, a big mansion or something like that.
So, just a quick question.
Yeah,
How long have you been selling houses?
20 years.
Okay. So, in your 20 years, you've been through a couple different markets.
Oh, yeah.
Right. How long would you say is a normal amount of time on the market before you should receive an offer? A normal, like not hot market like we've been in for the better part of 6 years, 7 years.
3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks. Yeah. So if you don't have an offer within 3 to 4 weeks.
I actually would tell my clients, if you don't have an offer in 2 weeks, you need to drop the price.
Really? Why so fast?
In a normal market or now?
Boy, I haven't had this question after he's looking at me.
Yeah.
I got to really think about that.
I'm intrigued, right? So I've just been doing a lot of research. This is my first big fluctuating market.
You know what? I think I get your point. It's a good point. What's your motivation and why are you moving? You know?
Yeah.
In a state,
I think
if people are just you just
ready?
got lucky.
Ready to role play this? This is a very good one.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to answer your question and then tell me what you would say.
Yeah.
I personally am running into the upsizer. It's probably just who I'm working with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the upsizer who's got the 2.5%, 3% rate, who would like to unlock their equity, but didn't need their equity to buy.
Mm-hmm.
They've already bought. They are buying. They really don't care. I'd be nice to get my cash back, essentially, right? So they've deployed 10, 15, 20% down casually. They'd like to get their 200, 300, 400 grand back out of their property, but they don't need it. You know, their savings is going to take a hit. Whatever investment they're in might take a hit. But at the end of the day, it's 3% debt, and they're fine with renting it. So I'm not finding the vast majority of clientele that I'm dealing with personally to be a highly motivated seller.
Well, that's a really good point because we're dealing with a situation with this right now where people are, if I don't sell, I'll rent. If you're not de-letted and you have a house, you need to think about, and I'm not saying don't do it, but you are taking on a liability.
Sure.
So, and I don't think I don't think the regular homeowner realizes that sometimes.
No, I agree. I think
because every kid, and there's a reason why we have the lowest lead paint poisoning in the whole country in Massachusetts is because every kid is tested. But the onus is on the owner of the property. If that child tests positive for lead,
you're going to hear from the landlord, from the tenant.
Or you're going to hear
the
from
school department.
You're going to hear from the state.
Yeah. You're going to hear from everybody.
You're going to be required to de-lead or encapsulate, which you can do, and rehouse them on your dime.
Yeah.
Well, that's done, and that's a lot. And so I think you have to really think about, if you want to do that, maybe you go and you take the class to have it, encapsulate.
Sure.
But your clients are mostly like young professionals in one-bedroom condos that don't necessarily
I think there's a lot of renovated condos that were sold years ago that are those ones. I mean, whether or not they're actually de-letted or not, or would pass a de-letted is a different story.
If you clientele that's going to be renting, because you can't discriminate. And I don't do a lot of rentals, but I tell my people, you have to show it to everyone. I mean, you can't say to someone you got kids and so you can't live here.
But I would assume a lot of your tenants are moving out because the stock is not conducive to having children in, right? Like these were their first houses.
Right.
And
so
they
condos,
need like a trade up to a bigger house to raise a family.
A condo is different than a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Right?
No doubt.
Because if you have a 4-bedroom house and you're going to rent it, you're either renting to students or a family.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, and you have to think about,
So was your answer, I should scare the sellers with the lead paint
Salem
law?
State students.
That's where we left off.
So we're talking about renting to...
When I rented to students, I called the house I rented the Playboy Mansion. Because there were so many parties.
Did they have the bunnies?
They had like 50 pizza boxes out on the front porch. I got a call from the city councilor, from the police, but this is the one that really cracked me up. The trash company called me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the priest.
You've got a problem over at that house. And then one of the neighbors, and I said, why am I just hearing about this now? I'm a realtor. My name and phone number are literally on signs.
And what was the answer?
Because it's so easier to call the town and complain to somebody instead of being.
So I had to go have a talk with my young men. Actually, there were 4 guys and a girl, and the guys were easier to get to comply. The woman was a nightmare.
Oh.
She was just, they were afraid of her. I can laugh about it now. It was not funny at the time at all. But I was like, this place is like the Playboy Mansion. It's a party every night.
So
I like that.
So to close the loop on the motivated seller point of view, would your advice be to make sure you fully communicate all of the pros and cons of being a landlord?
Yeah,
in an effort to make sure that, like, hey, do you really want to do this, or you just think it's like easy?
No, I think all the pros and cons, because I was a landlord at a young age, and I think being a landlord is a great thing, and it's a great way to build wealth,
No doubt.
build your portfolio, build, not just institutional wealth, but generational wealth, to own property. It really is.
I agree.
I just think in Massachusetts, we have some strict laws for a really, really good reason. And it's not that, but there are also courses and things, and they're not expensive, that landlords can go to on a weekend and learn how to encapsulate the paint themselves.
Sure.
And I would just encourage people, if you have an older property and you're going to rent to a family because you don't want to discriminate against them, do it.
Yeah.
Because you're in the database then as being safe.
Sure. No, I think that's good.
And it's always good to be in the safe database.
You don't want to be on the naughty list.
No, you never want to be on the naughty
already in
list.
a bunch of those ones.
I am, but I am going to have a nice sip of my LaCroix to wash that down.
You never want to be on the naughty list.
All right. So, so you're saying, all right, one last thing about pricing, just because we've asked a lot of other agents that have been on. So you think 2 weeks and you're moving the price down as a price preservation?
All right, I'll say 3 weeks. I'm just more aggressive on that sort of thing, because do you really want to sell? Do you really want to get somewhere?
Yeah,
we're in this market right now. These markets are fascinating because we're always in this domino thing. Like before, when everything was selling for $1 gazillion over ask, you almost needed to sell your house before you made an offer on something else.
Correct, yeah.
Well, I think we're back there.
I think we're back.
Yeah.
That's back.
So we're to be appealing. And so, you have to really think. I always say to people, where are you going? Have you ID'd your property?
Yeah.
Do you know what you're going to do? And some people will take, if your house is properly priced, people will do a contingency with you.
What do you mean?
You can say, you can make an offer on a house before your house is sold, right? And as the contingency being on
you can
the
try.
home sale contingency, and you just have to prove the fact that you're gonna
right. And if you're gonna prove it, if it's a decent realtor, they're gonna look at the numbers and they're gonna say,
yeah, I agree with you.
What's your plan?
I always tell clients there's a difference between writing an offer contingent on home sale.
Yeah.
The first question I would ask if I was receiving that offer is the house under contract?
That's right.
Oh, not when are you going to market?
Right.
2 weeks from now, you haven't taken photos? Call me in 2 weeks, pal.
That's exactly what I would say.
Versus, hey, my offer is contingent on home sale. By the way, here's the MLS. I'll put it on the market tomorrow. Yeah. You and I both know this thing is going to sell like hotcakes.
Right.
We'll do PNSs at the same exact time. And if I don't have an offer that I'm signing a PNS on, then let's not do the PNS, and you can go to the next spot. Right. Most people, I think, are going to be pretty okay with that.
And the other thing, circling back to some of the things that people, if you're buying a bigger house and there's a possibility that maybe you can put an apartment in it or it has an apartment in it, those houses are worth
more
grabbing.
Yeah.
Especially if they're on a nice piece of land. Yeah. With parking, any kind of view at all, a pond, anything. Those houses, I think, are really,
They're
gems.
Fast,
They're gems. And some people, I still, before I was a realtor, there were 2 houses I didn't buy because I hesitated. 40 years later, I still think about those houses.
I got a couple of those already.
I have one.
And I just think,
soon to be 2.
What was I thinking? What was I waiting for? I mean,
scared money don't make money.
Right. Well, high risk, high reward, and that's really true. And you will.
That's the better way to say it.
No, sometimes
I like the first way.
Sometimes, you're gonna listen. If you're a landlord, there may be times you're gonna take a little bit of a hit.
No doubt.
It happens. Most of my tenants.
Well, we could get into evictions in the housing court, but I think that's
we won't do that.
whole other.
But
podcast.
most of your tenants are going to be good most of the time.
Agreed.
But you just need to know that you might get a lemon now and then.
We have to hire a realtor to vet them and do your due diligence before you get somebody in.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, last thing on pricing. I swear to God, then we're going to move on. We're going to talk more about the Association of Realtors.
Yeah.
This might be a toughie because I think you and I will disagree on this. I think 2 to 3 weeks is far too quick to move price down. Okay. I really do. Because So two things. First off, who priced the house? Right? Like I did, and the seller agreed on that range, right? And I'm not pricing homes at a range that I don't think they can sell at. I just am not. I don't take that business. Like maybe
So if you have a client that says, I want you to you show them all the numbers, and they say, but I want to start at this number, you won't take it.
So
because I think I think you used to be able to do that, and I think right now
I think let's just
it's harder for people.
Let's be super specific. Let's say I do a market analysis and I say, hey, listen, I think 819 to 869 is fair market value, and I'll walk them through 3 different ways we can price the home.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, we can price the home high. I don't really love this strategy. Okay. Let's say high is 875. We're looking for the needle in the haystack buyer. Usually 45 to 60 days on market. We're lucky if we get an offer. Almost always it's going to be below asking, unless this is on waterfront. This is a very unique historic home. Then we can break the rules, ask whatever we want, ask over market value. That's option 1. Option 2, let's price it at fair market value. Let's say fair market value is 829 or 839. I think that's the right strategy. We can go on market usually in the first 2 to 3 weeks. If we're priced, if we have a lot of people through the home, then I would say we're going to procure an offer at or around, usually above list price in this market. Third option, underprice the home. I used to love this strategy. Don't love it anymore now because with the volatility of interest rates, I don't necessarily recommend this because we could go on at 7.99. Rates could go from 6.4 to 7.25, and no one showed up this weekend, and we gave away your equity.
Right.
I think fair market value is the right price, and you would have to tell me, nope, go 875. So I would go, okay,
Seth, I want to list it 895.
Okay, listen, I think it's a stretch. At the end of the day,
but my house is beautiful. Cool. I put in these curtains,
whatever,
and I love it.
Well,
I agree with what you're saying.
And I have Formica that is sparkly.
So when we price high, first up, by the way, the heat hasn't been working here like all day for some reason, so I just buried it at like 80, and all of a sudden now it's like getting hot in here. So we might have to crank it down a little bit in a minute.
Yeah, but that's why I want to price my house high because
so here's the deal, and I'll do this. At the end of the day, I think if you're over 5% over the market, it's not selling. It's not selling right now. We're probably gonna break 30 to 40 days. Now, in a market that's dramatically appreciating, and in a market that has incredibly volatile rates, pricing high, not the best strategy. I don't hate it because literally, if rates just hit a 2-month low literally yesterday. Okay, so let's say they keep sliding, which I think they will, and we're at 599. At the end of the day, we waited 30 days. Guess what's going to happen? Your place is going to sell.
Yeah.
Because I just made it more affordable with patience.
Well, that's a good point. And I also historically, I don't think 6 and 7% rates are crazy because we would.
No, I don't either.
We've been looking at
2 and 3% rates are crazy.
Those
crazy.
were completely artificial rates. I mean,
I agree.
The second house that I bought, which was a multifamily in DC, I'd be very wealthy if I still owned it today.
I was just going to ask that.
Right in Adams Morgan, gorgeous brownstone. Gorgeous.
That's a good neighborhood in DC.
Yeah, gorgeous
I'll
house.
ask ChatGPT.
But anyway, when we were able to refinance that house at 9%,
it was great.
We thought we won the lottery. I mean, I think we bought that at 13. I bought a house when I was very young with my sister. It was brand new construction outside of Alexandria, Virginia. There were still ponies across the street. That's how undeveloped that area was at the time. The rate was 16%.
Yeah.
And it's just that the mortgage payment was all
interest.
But
this is one of the things you and I talk about a lot, right?
It's all
is
interest.
Like your demo of your buyers are more on they've never seen this cycle before. They've only seen 2 and 3 and 4% interest, and the thought of paying it is crazy. And I think it's gotten better over the last year.
Just like you tell that story, we'll be telling this story of, do you remember when I had my primary residence at 275?
Oh, yeah.
I still got it today. I paid it off 20 years ago, blah, 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 whatever. So just to cap the pricing convo, like I just can't tell you. I just had 2 condos. I took over an expired listing. They were on the market with the previous broker for like $850. I went on at $799. I believed in the price. I believed in the product. Okay. I think day 53, I got multiple offers on the same condo, and it goes over asking. Or went like at asking, right? But both offers came in originally below, and between negotiation and patience, we got what we wanted for the seller. And I've seen that happen so many freaking times. Happen in Gloucester on a beach house that I had listed years ago. Like same thing, just 60 days on market, boom, and you get multiple bids. So, and some of that's market conditions, some of that's timing. But like, I've just heard a lot that in a normal market, 4 or 5 months on market is not crazy.
I think that's.
We just haven't been in a
right.
normal market in a decade.
You're right,
so.
Because I have to think back. I had a house in North Salem, and I have to think back how long it,
Like how many people are going to list homes this week and forget that Sunday's Easter, and like not pay attention.
Yeah.
And then they have shitty open house traffic and they price correct in 10 days. Like what? It'll happen. And I think it's just listen.
Well,
the only
as
thing
an uneducated person
Well,
in
the
this
agent
area
the agent should also be telling them that.
should, but you
I
and I
look
both
at something
know.
that's been on the market for 3 weeks, and I'm like, "What's wrong with that place? Like, why is
There
it
is a lot
still?
of that
Why
too.
is it still on the market? I'm not going to look at that. Like, forget it. It must be a dog, or it's overpriced. Like, there's a problem. It's been on for 4 weeks.
Everything is possible to fix with money.
What do you mean?
You can fix it.
Oh, the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want a discount. Like the second I
That's
see
fine.
it's been on for
People-
4
But
weeks,
that's fine, I
I
think.
automatically assume it's gonna be like $50,000 off.
So what if you go and you find out that it's the house you really wanted and it had, you think you can get it under budget, and then all of a sudden you're in a bidding war and you're emotionally attached. Are you going to pay list price? A list price wasn't
So one
that bad.
of my problems is that I lack emotional intelligence, I've been told. So I don't know, and I have detachment syndrome, so I don't know if I would become emotionally attached to it.
the house.
Yeah.
I just, at the end of the day, I see someone just listed a house in Winthrop.
Yeah.
It's been on the market 10 days. They just price dropped to $50,000.
Oof.
Like, why don't you just put a giant sign in the driveway that says "No one came to look at me"? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Like,
I do.
now it might have been the
Was that your listing?
Hell no. It might have been the photo of themselves in the bathroom mirror when they were snapping the picture.
Well, that's a whole other thing. When you
worst.
see the crap
Listen,
photos,
I hear
mean,
you.
if you're not paying for professional photos,
How is that still a thing?
Who you work with
it's-
matters. That's how.
And
Discount
if you're not, and
brokers
if in the MLS listings, when they don't put any information, they don't even tell you what rooms are in there.
yeah.
No dimensions, nothing.
My listings are filled out.
I mean, that is laziness.
Listen, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
But that's unfortunately the reality that
Yeah.
we work with
No,
a lot.
it's
so.
true. There are some realtors that are.
All right, we've
doing
talked
the
enough
job.
about pricing. I just like to pick everyone's brain on it.
No,
because
I
everyone's
like
got a
hearing that
Everyone's got a
because-
different point of view, and you know.
Yeah, it's good. It's interesting. It's good to hear because we are in a different market again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
And
keeps changing.
And by the way, just the last swear to God, the last thing on pricing. If I did price someone's house,
I think
high,
we should do a montage of the last thing on pricing, the last thing on pricing, the last thing on pricing. What is
All right,
it?
for real.
Give us the
For
last
real.
Seth
thing.
wants the last word.
Well, it is the word.
It is the word.
Yeah.
But
It
he
is-
wants
it
the
is.
last word.
I do usually like the last word. The last word on pricing. I would definitely still take it at $695 or $895, whatever the example was, and I would just make you sign a contract with me, a pricing contract where
Saying you'd be dropping
Hey,
it.
listen, I'll give your strategy a whirl. I'll give you
Yeah.
3.5 weeks,
I've done that.
and after that, the price is going to $829. Sign here, sign here.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I don't want to have this conversation. Hey,
Yeah.
something because I've also well, let's try it a couple more weeks at $890. No,
Right.
write down. Let's go.
I like
That
that.
is the last word.
That is a good last
All
word.
All right.
Let's talk Association of Realtors. I'm a
Yes.
realtor. I joined. I think I'm in G-Bar. I should know that.
Probably.
Give me the bennies. What's the benefit?
Can I ask a question before she answers
Yeah.
your question? When was the last time you went to a G-Bar event?
Oh.
When was the last time you went to a G-Bar meeting? Okay.
Yeah, you got to go.
All right. So now, Eileen.
So
feel free
how am
to
I?
answer.
So why can't they just publish a calendar that like
Well, that's a
actually
good,
comes to my email? Maybe
Don't you get emails from them?
I get
A weekly
300
emails,
emails a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
You know.
One of the things that we've asked for at Mass Association of Realtors
Because you're in both Mass
I'm on-
and North Shore.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Is to do a master calendar so you can see
I'll go to any event.
things. But the other thing is for continuing education classes. Like they may not have it at G-Bar, but they might have it at North Shore. They might have it someplace else, and you really want this certification, or you really want that teacher because they're the best one. Yeah, there should be a calendar. I can't tell you why they don't do what they do. But I agree with you on the emails because I get.
But setting aside the calendar, like why would a realtor go to a realtor association event, right? So like you're Seth, you've got your brokerage in East Boston, you sell all over, you sell North Shore, Metro West. Like why? Like what's in it for him?
The networking and knowing people, because frankly, at the end of the day, and I tell this to new realtors all the time. Your relationships with other realtors really, really matter. Even if you are all over the state, if somebody knows, hey, this guy Seth, he's a stand-up guy. He's a straight shooter.
Make that into a reel.
He's not going to give me crap. This is what you see is what. Yeah, now he's like, maybe.
I definitely.
Well, it depends on who you are.
Yeah,
I definitely.
I
delve out some crap.
There are some realtors that are easier to deal with than others.
If you're a competent professional,
I was just going to say, and there are people that are more professional.
Yeah.
And then,
I can't deal with 24 hours before closing. You asking me for the same document 16 times that has been circulated. I get a little snippy.
Yeah, agree.
That's
but the more you know, the more you participate in realtor events, the more people you're going to know and the better off it's going to be. Plus, you're going to have more influence, frankly, over what's happening legislatively. And that stuff really does matter. Like we do a Realtor Day on the Hill every year. I think it's June 15th this year.
I think it's the 13th.
Why does that matter?
It matters because what we do is we'll all gather in like the Hall of Flags with breakfast, and we'll have a speaker, which will be somebody probably, one of the constitutional officers, which is important, speaking about housing issues.
June 12th.
And then we will go, there'll be teams of people, depending on what association you're in, but we all coordinate together, going to visit different state reps and senators and talking to them about, where do you stand on rent control? Where do you stand on ADUs? Where do you stand on zoning?
Blowing up zoning?
Yeah. This is at the end of the day, realtors, we drive the economy. People can say whatever they want about us.
It's 100% true.
But we are the biggest driver of the economy in this country right now. And we are a very, very powerful force. I mean, there are 1,400 realtor members in the North Shore Realtor Association. G-Bar is a bigger association. I can't imagine how many they are. Across the country, we are considered probably the most influential association in the whole country. In Massachusetts, realtors, because you were a realtor member, you were able to get unemployment benefits not unemployment. What did they call it? During COVID.
Wish I knew that.
It must have been on one of the emails you didn't open.
Yeah.
I wasn't a realtor then.
Was it unemployed? I don't know if it was but we were able to get, as independent contractors, benefits.
Because of the lobbying efforts by the association.
Because of the lobbying efforts of Massachusetts Association of Realtors. That has never happened before. Did the restaurant workers get it?
No.
No. Those poor guys were suffering.
They should have got it.
But they have no lobby. They have no organization that really gets out there and lobbies. And so the lobbying really seriously matters. And when we go onto the Hill and we talk to these people, they pay attention to what we're saying.
So I've been to some North Shore Realtor things.
Yeah.
I don't typically go to G-Bar, but it skews older, right? Like I'm usually one of the younger people at a North Shore Realtor event. So like, how do we draw in people like Seth that are, building brokerages, have a lot of transactions, and don't really know why he needs to be involved? Like, what are the ways that someone like that could?
I think some of it is asking them what they want. I think some of it is, frankly, people like me who are the president, getting out there and meeting them and asking you what you want. One of the things that we're going to start at North Shore Realtors is because we own our building, and it's a big building. We're going to take a section of that, and we're going to turn it into, for lack of a better word, we're going to call it an internet cafe.
Yep, co-working space.
Co-work space where any member realtor can come. They're between showings. If you live in Haverhill and you've got showings here and there, drop in, use the wireless internet.
Is that on your social media?
It hasn't yet because it's not up yet. But we will be doing that.
Where's the building?
It's on Essex Street in Beverly. I don't even know what the address is. 313.
I didn't know you
Essex
had
in
a
Beverly.
building.
It's a huge building.
Oh, I've never been there.
We're
I've never been
We're
invited.
landlords too.
Oh, I've never been invited.
I'm inviting you right now.
Oh.
And
I'm a member, by the way.
I know you
Yeah.
are. I'm happy you're a member.
Yeah.
Very, very happy. But the other thing is we're going to have a lending library there where it's going to be, so many
A
of us.
lending? What the hell is a lending
I know
library?
this sounds goofy, but
If you're 100, who's gonna tell me it's not a book library?
it is a book library. 'Cause
You know that there's this thing called
no.
the internet.
But here's the other thing. There are so many young realtors. Look at, I can see his Seth.
When was the
read
last
books.
time you went to a lending library?
Well, I don't go to the library because I have a Kindle and I just download the books.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about one more thing about that.
Yeah.
But
Let's
you
talk
can,
about
you can
this.
take books. If you're a new realtor and you're starting out and you don't have a lot of dough and you want to read some of these books and you can't afford to, or you don't know how to get it from the library on your Kindle, just take the books. There's so many people that have these things. Just take them.
I'm confused.
It's a free service. Now
Might
downloading.
not be very successful.
Yeah, this sounds like a waste of time.
Sounds like it's
You're
going to look
hurting
good,
my
though.
feelings.
Well,
look-
it's
it'll look
okay.
good. It'll
We
look
love
good
you
in the
anyway.
office.
All right.
I
But
would
I do
I would
wanna-
redirect your resources to something more useful.
Well, that's free anyway. But what I wanted to say.
It's not a draw, FYI.
All right, but the internet cafe is.
I mean, if there's
Yeah.
free Wi-Fi, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's free
Put the
Wi-Fi.
books in there, too.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the books will be.
You could
right?
use them as decor.
That's
Yes,
right.
they
Yeah.
will.
Put them in
definitely-
color.
I like
Organize
that.
them by color
Okay.
because no one's going to take them, so they
Okay.
should look pretty.
All
100%.
right.
And then do it in rainbow.
Because that, even if I did take a book, I'm not saying that I would. Hold on, I gotta fix my mic here. Even if I did take a book, the problem with that is then I'd have to return
No,
to Beverly.
that's the whole thing. You don't have to read.
But
it.
I
just
would
get to
only
keep
take a
it.
They're
book
for
that
free.
would look good on my coffee table. So, like, if you
So
had
it's
a
a free
Gucci
bookstore?
It's
picture
a free
book,
bookstore. That's the whole idea. Is there's lots of realtors who are older like me.
You're gonna donate your books.
I'm like, what the hell?
Okay.
I'll just give them to people. If some kid who's just got his license wants to read Brian Buffini or Gary Keller,
doesn't.
here you go.
Nobody does. You know what they're going to do? They're going to download a podcast and they're going to
Well,
listen to
they
it.
may download the podcast, but I can tell you as far as downloading books, because you're a member of G-Bar.
Soon
so
we're
wait,
gonna
wait.
pitch them to join North Shore.
So, well, I'd love them to
Can
join.
I join? Can I just automatically get North
You
Shore?
can,
Yeah.
You can have it as a secondary one too.
Do I have to pay for that?
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Not
worth it.
happening.
Get to hang out with.
It's
me.
like $45
you
Oh,
get
really?
to
or
hang,
$100. It's like not
You
expensive.
get to hang out with us.
Yeah.
Can you confirm? It's $45.
I can't confirm.
I think it's like not expensive. You spend more.
I bet you it's like
I wa-
$195.
I
Yeah,
want to
maybe.
tell you something. You get
spend more at the car wash.
You can get free books. Did you know this?
I just learned it. Yeah.
At NAR, National Association of Realtors, has a whole section on their website where you can download free books to read.
Wow.
It's pretty cool, actually. I mean,
So if this
you're
is
so
your pitch,
inclined,
if this is
How
your pitch for younger realtors, I
my
think we
pitch
need
for
a new
younger,
pitch.
Yeah, you're not
I
selling
need.
me.
We,
Yeah.
tell me your pitch, Seth. Well, what should we do to get younger realtors in? Because
Yeah, it's a great-
there's a
it's a
group
great
called the
example.
Young Professionals Group and everything, and
Nobody comes.
yeah, people, it's just like.
I think. Okay. I'll give you 2 things. First off,
yeah, really, we need help. Help me.
the book thing's a terrible idea.
Okay, it's
Terrible.
bad. Bad.
I mean, I think it is a value proposition
Yeah,
that is not going to draw a crowd.
I don't think it's going to draw
Let me
a
put-
crowd.
let me put it
It's
this
just-
way. I
it's
think,
just a free thing.
I'm sure you're familiar with the failure rate of most realtors, correct?
Correct.
So I think it's like statistically like 87% fail after year 1 or something like that.
They can take the books for free and have
That's
them.
right. So you well if
Then they're
all,
not in my
if,
house
if they're all
anymore.
right, if they're all members, you're going to run out of books pretty quick because 90% of them drop out. 9 out of 10 fail. Right. So I think for me, as someone who did this part time for a little while, and then I was like, I got to be here full time, right, to make
Oh,
it,
you
to
have
make
to.
to make it work. It's not a hobby, right?
No.
And literally, the first thing I did was hire a professional coach. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
which cost me, I think, at the time, like $1,200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, that was very scary, right? So, like you said, the realtor that doesn't have any money. Most people, when they jump into this business, have no pipeline. Getting your pipeline started is by far the most difficult. If you can figure it out and roll that snowball down the hill, you're golden. And you always just keep doing the right work, you'll always be okay. Whenever you stop prospecting for business, meeting with people, being rude, mean, whatever, not showing up on time, not being professional, you'll lose that business real quick. So for me, paying the cash, learning the industry from a proven professional, was really helpful. I also was very accountable to myself because like I was like I can't afford to lose this $1,200.
Right.
Like, I need
right.
ROI here, right? So I need to get the return. So I think if you offered some sort of mentorship or coaching, and we're very public about that around the most current events, pricing in a shifting market, right? Creating video or content to, there's no better way to have people like, know, and trust you than social media. I have people all the time who ping me and say, hey, I need you to sell my parents' house. It's over here. It looks like you're killing it. All of that happens because people know, like, and trust me on social.
Yeah.
Right. So like we'll follow each other after this, and like you're going to see the content that we're creating, and I'll be top of mind for you in this area if and when, whatever. Right. That's the stuff that I think gives people a leg up, and everyone is terrified of doing it.
Yeah.
It's just like that. It just helps people build a brand faster. So building a brand, pricing in a shifting market, video content for new agents.
So more workshops.
I was just going to say, because we are doing workshops on things. I've just actually asked them to explore doing a workshop on the
ChatGPT.
Yeah, thank you, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Because realtors need to know that kind of stuff. Now, what you said.
What about accounting and taxes? Like, how many realtors in their second year after they've been a realtor for a year and are like, oh my God, I have to pay taxes on that money?
See, it's also interesting for me because I work for Keller Williams and they give us all this for free. I mean, it's just part of.
If you take it.
If you take it, they can't make you do it. It's
right.
just like they
do you think though
they can't make you get a coach, right? But you're clearly motivated because you got a coach. I mean, I've clearly have some motivation. I've been made a living for 20 years doing this. But you're right. The interesting thing is our membership at NSR is actually still going up, which is fascinating.
In age or in numbers?
In numbers, but it's the antithesis of what's happening in other places. Now, what I did not mention, one of the things that we do have is we just got a state-of-the-art video studio and podcast studio. Yeah.
And how are you guys using it?
That any member can use. You just have to call and reserve it.
But how are you using it?
How am I using
it? Or how is the NSR using it?
I don't think we've done any promotion on it.
Right.
I mean,
so why have it?
They throw it in the newsletter, but so what?
Why aren't they doing podcasts or social media posts from the social media place?
This is the irony, right?
Yeah, it is the irony.
Because, we're talking about these events that I don't even know what's going on because we're still communicating with each other in like ancient times. Like no one reads their email, right? Mm-hmm. So like I would prefer, hey, we have an event coming up 2 weeks from now. I would prefer mass text.
That's, you know what? When that was, I did the...
Hey, you didn't sign up yet? Register now. Here's a workshop.
I agree with you.
Click a link to reserve your ticket. This is free to members. Boom.
Yeah. And maybe follow it up with a Facebook post and a video on Instagram.
Because, you're right.
And by the way, like, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I keep talking over you. Are you really? This is just what I do. So I apologize for being this person that I've become. The reality is, she may be small, but her bite is bad. So she's out pres. She has to be. The reality is,
I'm a good listener, though.
I can't. Well, at least somebody is. So I can't even get in front of my clients on Instagram and Facebook. Why? Because that's how the algorithm works. Yeah. So you know what I have to do? I have to pay to retarget them. Mm-hmm. So take the data that you have, retarget me on the web, on social media. So I cannot miss you guys on social media. You should be using that studio. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? Here's this. We're going to be making a video on how to record a podcast. We're going to feature Seth. He's going to come, whatever. And that's the content. And now it's retargeted. I can't miss you. And do video email, bomb, whatever it is, because I'm not reading this shitty agenda. Yeah.
But a lot of people don't look at the video emails.
Well, listen, they don't.
But I think
they look at Facebook and Instagram.
46% open rate.
I think
higher.
The text is the best. Mass text. That was what.
Listen, if I relied on only an email agenda of how I got my real estate, like how I got business from clients, guess where I'd be? I'd be canning up on Starbucks right now. You know what I mean? So the irony is that is how a lot of these associations try and communicate with us, which is just, it's archaic. You know what I mean? So I certainly don't want another spam phone call, but if I opened it and didn't register. Hey, Seth, what's going on? This is such and such from the Association of Realtors.
Correct.
We saw you looked at this event. Is this still of interest to you? I wanted to hold your spot.
Yeah.
You might get a yes or no out of it.
No, I think that's true because I've always found that personal invitations from people work.
100%. Of course they do.
Yeah, they work.
Just send me an Evite.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm invited. Well,
I was on the phone the other day with Seth, and I said, "There's a breakfast for the North Shore Realtors.
I'm going to send you an email.
Why don't you come with me?" And he said yes.
All right.
Yeah,
because we were I'm not reading that email.
Right.
There's 75 events in it.
I hear you.
There's literally, I just looked. There's 7 events in the email, and there's one every 3 days, and half of them are webinars. I'm disinterested.
The one from NSR.
I'll just pull it back up again.
No, is that the one that NSR? It's because I don't send that out.
Says ready. It's from G Bar.
Oh.
But you probably do it very similar.
Ours may not be any better.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 events in this email. Okay. And oh, by the way, the one that you said was the most important, save the date, Realtor Day on the Hill, buried at the third to last event.
I want you to send me that email. I want to read it.
So, Seth, how many
what's your
times?
email?
eduff@kw.com.
You're in here.
Because we were emailing about the podcast.
I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, that's probably right.
So how many times did you open that email before you never opened another email from them? Right. So like what, twice?
No, I agree with you because
I don't think I opened emails from NSR. Like I can't remember the last one I opened.
And by the way, the last time I got one was March 3rd.
from G-Bar.
Yeah. Here's 15 events. Better pay attention.
This is really great
so
information.
So like what? That's like me.
March
that's
3rd.
like me sending out an email next week. Hey, P.S. My client event's June 23rd.
Right.
Hope you can make it.
Well, listen,
By the way, here's 14 other events, and I put it at the bottom.
I hear you, Seth.
Why
because
is everybody not here?
I had the CEO or executive director, I guess they like to be called CEOs of our organization,
Snooty.
asked me to come to something that NSR was doing a week before it happened, and I said to him, I can't. I'm busy. I'm booked.
Yeah.
And so I understand what you're saying. It's really true. So I
mean,
will, I will
is a
bring
lot
this back to him because we can't.
I'm filled with unsolicited suggestions. Don't worry about it.
We'll have lunch.
But there is a lot of value in knowing the people that we work with, right?
Oh,
So like
God,
the association does have a lot of value. I think they just need to like
Modernize.
reinvent themselves to a different population.
Yeah, that's really great information. It's true. We do.
I think too. Like I couldn't even tell you who is on the board of G Bar.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't they sending personalized? Hey, what's going on? I'm so and so. I just got. You know what I mean? Like,
What would you want from them? A personal text or call? Or email?
I think that's the problem. Like,
Or even a Facebook post from like you must follow G Bar on Facebook.
I don't know. Why would I? You
Some-
think I'm gonna go click and try and find it?
Not
They
now,
should
but
follow me.
They should follow you.
And then I would get notified.
Yeah.
And I would follow you back.
Yeah. But I think that like if I know I follow NSR on Facebook
Well,
and
you're better than
Instagram, and like maybe if each board member did like a video in the thing,
Well,
like, hey, I'm so and so, I'm on the board, like and then they
I
pump
think-
it out to their audience. And if Seth
More
was doing
ownership
a deal,
of the board.
I have
Jackie Medeiros, who
I-
was our guest from
I agree
Fidelity
with
Title
that.
Company,
And she's on our
she's
board.
on the board.
Oh.
I think
I want to be on a board.
I think the most interesting video.
live bait here.
There we go. You got to join first. You got to
Well,
play to win.
$45. Brendan's gonna pay the
He's going to
balance.
pay up. He's going to pay the difference if it's more than that. But
I
here's the
hate
thing.
losing bets.
I
think it's $300.
I suggested that we do the
I have no idea.
that each member of the board, even if it's not a member of the board, members of the association should be doing the videos because people want to see
100%.
their friends on them.
Yeah.
They don't want to just see the CEO.
And we want to hear why it's important to them,
Right.
right? So like if Seth saw Leanne on and
Vong.
You know what? This is so great.
and she was like, "This is why I do it. Like these are the tangible results that I've gotten from being a member."
It's like at the SAG Awards when they asked, "Did you see the SAG Awards?"
No.
And they, you should have. Jennifer Coolidge, she was so good.
Oh, she's such a hot mess. I love her.
love
She
her.
is
Yeah.
a
Do you want to hear
Yes.
my? Do you want to hear my imitation?
Oh, 100%
I do,
we do.
actually.
Like, there's nothing I want more at this moment.
And well, first of all, for the business part of this discussion. What they did at the SAG Awards is they went around to all the different actors, most of the super famous ones, and said, why are you a member of SAG? What does SAG mean to you? And it was really interesting to hear some of the stories, especially from like some of the younger ones who are famous now. And they said, because when I got my SAG card, I was so excited because I could get insurance, you know, and I told my parents, and it meant something to be part of a community and be part of a union.
So imagine how impactful that would be to young realtors and folks that don't really understand what realtor associations do.
You guys are jazzing
I don't even know
me
what
up
it
again.
does.
Right.
No, you're really
I'm a
jazzing
member.
me up again. So Jennifer Coolidge at the SAG Awards.
Yeah.
So do you know who she is?
Yeah.
Do you watch White Lotus?
Who doesn't know who Jennifer Coolidge is? Yeah.
We all love her.
She's so annoying.
I want to meet her because she's 5'10", and I'm like 4'11" on a good day, and she wears like 6-inch heels.
Yeah.
I just think it would be hilarious.
Like
But-
you and Charlie Baker?
Oh God, me and Charlie Baker. There's some good. I'll show you some more pictures of me
God.
with Charlie.
He's taller, right?
He's like 6'8".
He's
He's not 6'8".
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'll show you some pictures with me back to back to him. Hilarious, and he's big. He's not fat. He's a big, well-built man. So Jennifer
The basketball thing makes more sense.
He was not a good basketball player.
No,
Charlie?
He was a good football player in high school, but he was not a basketball player. Yeah, he rode the bench at Harvard with a friend of mine while he was there. And
He would have been a good rower.
he probably would have been a good rower when Maura Healey became the attorney general, and they had this big photo op with the two of them playing basketball. He was like, Jesus.
She kicked his ass. She's a good basketball player.
He was like, she's gonna kill me.
You never go against a lesbian with a basketball.
Well, and Kim Driscoll is not a lesbian, but she is the lieutenant governor, and she also played basketball in college. So I think the state of Massachusetts,
charity basketball tournament, lieutenant governor against the governor.
of any state,
winner.
we will kill you.
No, they should do a charity basketball tournament.
They should.
Have their staffs donate the money to the charity of the winning team's choice.
Who are we playing though?
The lieutenant governor and her staff versus the governor and her staff for
that's
the
good.
charity. The Boys and Girls Club would love to be the recipient of one of them.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
So Jennifer Coolidge said, "Don't give up. Don't you ever give up. I've been doing this forever, and I just think of don't give up. Don't give up until you're dead."
It's actually pretty good.
That is
And
pretty
that was
good.
my favorite
Yeah.
thing. Don't give up until you're dead.
I like it.
It's good, huh?
I mean, it really could go for any industry.
It is true. Don't give up until you're dead. You know?
I'd like to give up a few years.
But they
before,
always
maybe.
say to me, like, when you're in the State House, everyone's like, "How you doing today? How are you?" And I'm like, "I'm great." They go, "Yeah." I go, "Every day in Eileen land is a good day."
There you go.
That's all we have. Mindset.
That's
Is it
right.
too hot in here yet?
No.
It's just you making it so hot.
It's just mindset. It's a mindset.
I can't find out what it costs to join another association.
I-
Well, I'll find out
Will
for
you
you.
Can you fill out an application and send it to me?
I will send
I'd like
it to you.
I'd like to formally request my
Yeah.
statement to the North Shore Association of Realtors.
Yeah.
I'm on record. I have a witness.
North Shore
Will you sign
Realtors.
that?
We're now NSR, North Shore Realtors. So have you ever seen, you'll have to Facebook me or I'll Facebook you. Have you ever seen Wayne Nugget? The videos that Wayne Nugget does?
Who's Wayne Nugget?
Wayne Nugget is the alter ego. It's a character that this realtor named Jenny May does. Wayne Nugget is a cowboy.
I don't think I want to watch
No, you do, because it is effing hilarious. It is the funniest thing you've ever seen. Wayne were you at our DEI ice cream thing last
that. What's
year?
a DEI? Die?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
sorry.
It's missing the B for belonging, but
Right.
we're not hating it yet.
A die meeting?
Yeah.
Yes. Meeting. Anyway, Wayne did a video for us, and it was the most opened watched video of anything we've ever done at NSR. Wayne Nugget is heaven. Hilarious.
Not
It
from
may
around
be
here.
a demographic
you would
thing.
like. No, you would like it. It's
Does he?
more your
Does she
demographic.
have Instagram?
I don't know.
Probably
Probably.
not.
No.
I don't know, but clearly not in the algorithm that either of us are targeted by.
Mm.
I don't know that Wayne does Instagram. I'll ask.
Missing out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also,
No.
probably like a demo thing here.
Okay.
Probably.
Hmm.
What else can we talk about?
I don't know.
I loved the North Shore Realtor thing, so
You
you'll
gave
take
me
that.
good
You'll
ideas.
take that back.
I am, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them you said so.
Well, you could just send them the podcast.
I don't know that they will want to hear all the broadcasts, but I could.
You could. We could just have a clip cut.
I think it's very important. To me, the most interesting like video clip that we ever got in one of our emails was when a member of the board was actually delivering the message.
Yeah,
100%.
That
100%.
to me was interesting to watch. I mean, nothing against, the paid staff or anything, but
People want to hear from their friends why they should do
they
things.
wanna hear
if
from
you
oth-
call me and ask me to do something,
Right, they wanna
I'm going to
hear-
do it more than if.
right, they want to hear from other realtors. They want to
Yeah.
see their friends. They want to, and I think the idea of saying, why are you a realtor as opposed to a real estate agent? Because there is a big difference. People don't think there is. You're rolling your eyes. There is.
No, I just became a realtor.
Welcome.
November.
Yeah, welcome.
Congratulations.
Just trying to level up,
Should we go out
Yep.
and celebrate?
Sure.
We should always celebrate.
Yeah.
If you put a gun to my head and said, "What does this do for you?" I said, "I don't know."
Huh. What is this?
I think that's part of the problem.
What does this do for you?
I can get free books.
Oh,
I'm going to send you a book.
No, I think especially it should really be the mission to help improve the longevity
Mm-hmm.
of a realtor's career, a real estate agent's career,
Yeah.
and keep them up to with the latest and greatest of what's happening, right? So
Yeah.
it sounds like I think that's some of the deliverance that you guys are kind of doing, but I think if there's for the low budget new agent who's trying to get rolling, how can you become an institution and help teach, coach, and train? And you said something earlier, my brokerage offers is a lot of this.
Yeah.
And here's the deal: our brokerage offers coaching.
Yeah.
We have leads. We have all these things, one-on-ones in an effort to improve your performance. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just want to duck out to someone else who isn't my brokerage and learn from others and network. And maybe it's a little bit of a safe space. Maybe you don't learn well in the classroom style, KW, MAPS coaching, whatever it is, right? And so you want to use this as a new avenue, and it's kind of your own thing. And
or maybe you hate all the agents in your office.
and now
and
you
you want to go to somewhere else.
Well,
where
then
you
you
don't
have to
hate
do
them.
it online.
right, and then you come back.
Then you go to
and-
KW University.
But then you come back into the office and maybe you're the subject matter expert, and that
Yeah.
feels pretty good, right? So, and you and I both know the type of realtor who's often wildly successful is that person. They're going to go find the answer, and then maybe they'll come back and teach, but they don't want to learn from some egomaniac who's been doing it for 10 years and it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I do.
Why,
so
do you know anybody like that?
maybe a few people. So, I think my feedback light was on for that one. I'm not sure though.
No, I was just trying to I ran out of this tasty LaCroix.
I already finished mine.
Yeah, it's so good. We just crushed them, LaCroix. We crushed the
We
LaCroix.
are up against it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eileen, this has been phenomenal.
This was fun. Thanks,
We
fellas.
really-
You gave me a lot of good insight and homework.
Oh.
I emailed you. I sent you that.
Good.
I sent you that.
Oh,
email.
yeah. That's going to be
Don't
interesting
roll
to
me.
see. No, it's really, it's good for me as the president because I have to, the board only has so much control over some things.
Yeah.
There's like a separation of church and state with the paid staff and us. And it can be challenging sometimes if you sound more like me. I'm, when they give you all these tests, I'm considered a visionary leader. I think anything is possible. I think you
agree.
can do anything you want.
Put
You
your
just
mind
have,
to it.
exactly.
But
you
you're
just
probably
have-
getting your feedback in an echo chamber, right? So who you're hearing from are the people on the board and the people in the North Shore, the people that are
Some
already
people
in
just
it.
don't get it, honestly, Brendan.
Right,
I mean,
right.
sometimes
It's like Trump
I
thinking that
just
he's
bang
getting
your
good
head-
legal advice because he's got people around. You know what I mean? Like when you don't have diversity of opinions
Yeah.
and you don't hear the
Too many yes men.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want. I don't want people to just yes me, except when I am right. No, no,
Then
but you do.
you
wanna,
must say yes.
But that's how you learn.
Yeah, I agree
Is
with
by
Mhm.
you learn by listening to other people,
Yeah.
and that's where the growth happens, right?
No doubt.
So
I think that's a good call.
Yeah. So Eileen, one of the things that we like to end on, unless you had anything else on that topic,
no,
is as you know, the name of the podcast is called The Word.
the word.
And the subtitle is The Last Word by Seth Williams. But the
That's right.
word.
The last word.
the word. So we ask all of our guests, if you were to sort of synthesize your next 12 months into one word, what would that word be? And then once you come up with your word, tell us a little bit about why you picked that word.
Realtor. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen to him. Now you're not going to speak after me because I get the last word, right?
It's actually called the final word.
Oh, the final word. I
It
get the
sounded
final
more
word.
catchy.
I'm going to say exciting.
Exciting.
I think it's exciting. I think this is
Tell
going
us
to be
more about that.
Yeah.
I think there's opportunity out there, and I think it's what we just spoke about. People with vision, people that get it, people that do their homework, high risk, high reward. It's there. You just can't.
Scared money don't make money.
Scared money don't make money. You can't be chicken poop in this market. You gotta get out there and do it. And sometimes you fall down, but you gotta get back up and do it again. And real estate drives the economy. Realtors drive the economy, and it's the best, most proven way to build wealth. I mean,
No doubt.
it just is. But I listen to some these kids today, that are 35 and have decent jobs and they're not buying. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Silly.
Like, they don't understand.
It's silly.
So pay yourself. I'm paying a mortgage.
Pay yourself first.
Yeah, that's right. So
Martin, our financial advisor, that's one of his things.
yeah.
Pay yourself first.
Amen to Martin.
At least he told me that. I don't know. You're looking
It's
like
a
he didn't tell
Rich
you.
Dad Poor Dad. You ever read it?
No, Martin told me
Great
to.
book.
Yeah.
It's probably in the book library.
It might be. I'll have to stop by the North Shore Realtors
I'm
and
going to
pick
give
it
you
up.
an autograph copy.
Oh, thank
No, I
you.
don't have one.
He's slinging crypto now.
Yeah.
Who, Marty?
No.
Oh.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Kiyosaki.
Well, you were awesome. Thanks for joining
thank
us.
you. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Thank you.
Thanks for the LaCroix.
And the and the
Well,
idea
if
about
Nutra sends me a code, I'll get
Uh,
some, okay?
Yeah, and
Since
it's
you're from
a great
Peabody,
gift
my
from
good God.
for buyers. I love that.
It's a great closing gift. And it's also a good gift for people having babies.
yeah. Get your Nutra.
I wish I had this ready to read off.
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
are we calling it?
We're just gonna call it. Yeah.
All right.
All
That's
right.
too bad.
All right, fellas.
Cool.
So
Thank you,
long.
Eileen.
Over and out.